So this truck here, this is my very first truck. I call it the Blue Mule. I don't know if you can see it in the back window or not. Yeah, we'll look at it in a little bit. But this was my very first truck when I was in high school. I got it when I was 16. It's now just a project, long-term project. Used to drive it every day. It's been through a few different renditions. When I drove it, it was two-wheel drive. I should say when I got it, it was two-wheel drive. Had a 318 fuel injected, nothing special, just your average work truck. And then it went to, I made it four-wheel drive with 7 inches of lift, put a 360 and a 4-speed in it. Put a flatbed on it, drove it around like that for, I don't know, 8 years or so. And then I just got tired of it, so I parked it for a while and sold the flatbed and sold some parts. And then I got a wild hair that I needed a mud truck, so I started working on this thing, tore it all apart, and ended up going a route that I look back on and I really regret. And by that I mean I cut the firewall out. That's the motor. It's 11 inches further back than it would be from factory. And I don't like what I've done with it. I'm actually quite sad about it. So I think I'm going to rebuild it. I'm going to take everything off this frame, take the big block out. That's a 440 big block in there. Basically I'm going to do a whole different frame. Have that in the back, but we're going to put this body on a frame and do a cage and do some cool suspension, get rid of the leaf springs and the old Chevy 1-tons, which there's nothing wrong with, but I got a guy that's interested in those, so I'm going to sell those and these tires, get rid of them. But I got a pretty cool project idea for this thing. The back's all skinned out and gutted, and the headache rack, roll bar, or headache rack is the box supports. This is all like bunk bed material, which would probably work just fine, but I was building this truck and I had zero money to put into it, so I was using anything I could find that was metal and making it work. And like this box here flips up, and that was the radiator mount, which is a cool idea. I was just going to get some real thin metal and put over that, but I just don't like what I've done to it. I don't like the way it looks. I'm just not happy with how it's turning out, so I'm going to redo it and make it a little cooler and work a little better, and still going to stick with the big block and the motor back like it is. As silly as it sounds, I absolutely love where the headers came out. They're perfect. They look really cool. It's going to be sweet. This is the frame I'm going to start with. It's out of a 72 to 80 International Scout 2. Super light, boxed frame. It's really cool. 2 guys can pick this thing up and just haul it around wherever you want. So I'm going to start with that and put a cage on it and put the body on top of it. And then I'm probably going to do some sort of a link front suspension with coils. Kind of thinking of doing the same in the rear. But I got this Dodge, like a 99-ish Dodge front end. It's got the coil buckets, and it's got, or the coils and the radius arms stuff is there. And I got all that sitting there. It's a 410 gear, so that should work pretty good. And then this one here is a, I think it's a 14 bolt. I'd have to do a little bit of research, but it's out of like a 2000 Chevy box van. Got disc brakes on it. It's pretty cool. So the truck should stop pretty well. I'm just hoping the gear ratio matches, so then that'd be perfect. Like I said, I've had this truck for a long time. I think 18 years now. And I'm tired of just seeing it sit here. Yeah, it looks cool with the big tires and the headers out the hood and whatnot. But it'd be fun to drive the thing again. Like I said, it was my first truck, so I kind of have a lot of stupid sentimental attachment for it. So I'm pretty excited to get going on this thing. It's going to be a fair amount of work, I know that. So the progress won't be super quick on it, but I'll just be happy to be making some progress again. Alright, so what we got going on here, take the old boom truck, pretty sweet little unit, and hook onto this big thing, and then put it in the garage, start tearing the front end out of it, change the tires out. Got a guy that's wanting this axle and these tires. We'll get that taken care of today. Spend a little time out in the rain, getting stuff done. Just gonna move it up into there. Alright, I got her all chained up. Grab the remote. Put the old 12-volt pump in the back here. Got a nice long cord on it. It's pretty cool. So you can come out here, pick it up, you can watch what's going on. Squishes the old back of that down pretty good. Man, this thing works so good. Alright, we'll get that block out of there, put this all away, and we'll get to moving it. Alright, here we go. Like this is how this thing gets moved every time for the last 8 years. A tow truck or a skid steer or something. Hopefully that's all going to change soon. Man, this truck makes life so much easier. Otherwise I'd have been doing this with a strap and another truck and needing somebody to steer it, and it's just a pain in the butt when you're out here by yourself. But now I'm going to lift it up with the boom again, but this time not attached to the axle. I'm going to hook it right on this bumper and then lift the truck up, drop the axle and springs out, and get going on that. Now with the front clip off, you can see how far back that motor really sits. It's pretty darn close to the cowl. I wanted to leave enough room for body stuff and wiper motor and whatnot. But yeah, it's way back there. Normally that pulley is like right real close to that, maybe a little above it. But there's a better view of the motor mounts I made, which I'm super disgusted with. Like I said before, I was working on no budget. But we're gonna fix all that now. Get a better look in here, how far back it really sits. Can't even have the factory gas pedal because the head's in the way. Haven't really fully decided how we're going to work through that yet. Probably going to make a sheet metal doghouse and maybe mount the gas pedal somewhere in here on the doghouse. So that way, keep some of the heat out, but it's still in somewhat of a natural spot to where you're used to where it is instead of having to search for it. But I think it's going to be pretty cool. I'm actually getting quite fired up about this thing. Like I said before, it's got a lot of sentimental attachment. I've painted it twice. Before this blue, It was a dark blue in the front. It had like 3 triangles down the side in dark blue, and then it went to a really light blue in the back because we didn't have enough paint of either color. So we just did what we had, or used what we had and made it work, and it looked pretty dang cool. I was like 17 at the time, and none of my friends had custom painted trucks. And then I got tired of that and replaced a bunch of the body panels. I put different doors, I put different fenders, and I just wanted to update it, so I did this really nice blue. I don't even know what the color was anymore, but I was super happy with that. We just did a quick weekend spray job, nothing fancy. But it's going to get painted again, a different color blue. And it's going to be bright and bold and loud. The color, that is. Well, that went pretty well. Got it all torn apart quick. This thing was just together enough so it could sit on its own outside, and I could look at it when I drove in the driveway and get kind of excited about it. I don't like looking at it torn apart, so it ain't going to be apart for long. We're going to start some reassembly pretty quick here. Next is the body. Cut all that crap out and we'll save it for something else, because I'm too cheap to go buy metal, so I just save everything. But that's also what you get when you have crap laying around. You just use what you got, even if it's bunk bed material. I'm also going to get the motor out, set that on a roller cart, put it away for a while. I would like to have it gone through. It's just a high mileage old 440, nothing special. It's a smog aero motor, but that'll come apart pretty quick. It's just those 2 bolts, one on each side. Back's just sitting on a 2x4 across the frame, so that'll come out pretty quick. But with the front axle out, I can actually get the cherry picker in there better. It doesn't quite reach from here to there to pick it up, so we'll get some of these body panels off, set it on some jack stands, and tear some more stuff off, and then probably put it back outside for a while, because I got some other stuff I need to do.